dark of the night, whispers of deceit.
Shadows dance on the walls.
Secrets they repeat. A shadowed figure
with eyes full of light.
Hiding truths in the shadows where no one dares to pry. Uncover the truth, let the lies come undone. Peel back the layers until the light is shown. Uncover the truth, let the shadows run. Break free from the chains and find the sun. Uncover the truth in the dead of the night, where secrets lie hidden like a whispered bite. Uncover the truth in the dim of the light, where betrayals take root in the heart of the fight. In the rain-soaked...
All right, the rain-soaked streets.
Oh, it's such a great song. I love it. I love it. Bloodlines and Betrayal. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully, and my partner in crime, Lieutenant David Schumann, Coach Schumann, and it's go time. You look so fresh today. I like the hair.
It's getting too long enough to cut it.
So we are doing something very special today. The murders of Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. Would you like to start in chronological order, which would be Tupac?
Yeah, sure.
So, a lot of conspiracy theories about this, and I brought up one of them on Rebel Republic. And Tupac was at the top of his game. He was 25 years old when he was killed. And he really kind of rose through the ranks, and he was the face of Suge Knight, his company, who took him on. What was it called? Because I know they were Death Row. Okay, well, yeah, he was signed by Death Row, and he was really starting to gain traction. And it's crazy because both Biggie and Tupac achieved greater popularity in death than they were when they were alive. But the murder happened. It's just so unbelievable how it happened, when it happened. It was at a Mike Tyson fight. Okay. So Tupac and Suge went to the Bruce Seldon Mike Tyson match. And I believe it was Tyson's second fight back. He fought that Peter McNeely guy. And then I think he took on Bruce Seldon. So they're in Vegas, I believe, at the MGM Grand, and there's a bunch of the Southside Crips that actually went to this, and I don't know if Tupac was in the gang or not, but there was an altercation, I recall, and it happened in the lobby. And it involved Orlando Anderson, who was a member of the Crips. So basically, I think Tupac assaulted him. He beat him up. Tupac and Suge kind of knocked him around. And this was before the fight, and it was actually on video surveillance. And it was at their hotel that they were staying at. So after the brawl, Tupac, he told his girlfriend at the time, Kashida Jones, about the fight, and he promised that he was going to return to her after the event. And he had her stay in a vehicle. He didn't want her in the hotel. Tupac left with Suge Knight in a BMW. He changed clothes, and they did the fight. Then he goes out after. He went to a club, Club 662, which was actually owned by Suge Knight, and he performed. He did like a brief charity concert. So what happened, and this again blows my mind, minutes before the shooting, Tupac Shakur's friend, his name's Leonard Jefferson, captured the infamous image of him in the vehicle with Suge Knight. And it was the last footage, the last picture ever taken. So they were, they got stopped on Las Vegas Boulevard by the Vegas Police Bike Patrol. Do you remember why they were stopped?
No.
They were stopped because they were playing their music too loud. And their license plates were kind of obstructed, which was ridiculous. So it wasn't a big deal. They got released. So they ended up stopped at a red light at an intersection in front of the Maxim Hotel. And a vehicle occupied by two women pulled up on their left side. And Tupac was talking through the window in the BMW, and he had words with the women and invited them to go to the club. So at 11:15, a white four-door late model Cadillac pulled up to Suge Knight's side, the right side. The shooter was in the back of the Cadillac, rolled down the window, and just started firing gunshots. He had a Glock. He had a 40 Glock SW Glock 22, and he was shooting at Shakur. And he was hit 4 times, twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh. And one of the tough one was one of the bullets ended up traveling to his lung. And
wow,
what I still have conspiracy theories about, Suge Knight doesn't get shot. He got hit with a just like a fragment in the head. Just they don't shoot him. He's the head of Death Row Records. Suge Knight's the head of Death Row.
at the time, yes.
And they don't shoot him. They shoot Tupac. So that's why, and I have suspicions because he's in the car, like he's driving it, and they're just gonna blast Tupac and not shoot Suge. Who leaves witnesses? Wow. That was the thing. That's why I struggled with it. So what's amazing was he survived, and Tupac's bodyguard, Frank Alexander, stated that when he was about to ride along with Shakur in Knight's car, Shakur asked him to drive Jones' car instead, just in case they needed additional vehicles from that club to go back to the hotel. And Alexander, the bodyguard, reported this in his documentary Before I Wake. He made a documentary about the incident. That shortly after the assault, one of the convoy's cars followed the assailant, but he never heard from the occupants. Yaki Gaddafi was riding in the car behind Shakur with the bodyguards at the time of the shooting, along with there was a ton of members of Death Row. And obviously they refused to cooperate with the police, which again, so despite Suge Knight's injuries, he just had the bullet fragment, he drove Shakur to the hospital. They were only a mile away from the hospital. and they did have a flat tire, but he drove him to the hospital, and they got pulled over again by the bike patrol, and the paramedics, they called him, and they got him, and they took them both in. So at the hospital, Shakur, I mean, they obviously had him on life support. He was heavily sedated, and they basically put him in a medically induced coma because he kept trying to, like, he was trying to leave, like he wanted to go fight people. He was visited by his bodyguard, and when he regained consciousness. I'm sorry. He was visited by the girlfriend, Rashida Jones, and regained consciousness when she played Don McLean's Vincent on the CD player next to the bed. According to her, Shakur moaned, and his eyes filled with mucus and were swollen, and it was rough. Suge Knight was released the following day, did not speak for 4 days. He was released and then didn't say a word for 4 days. He told, his statement to the police was he heard something but saw nothing the night of the shooting. So that is why, again, like I said the same thing about Diddy, this doesn't pass the smell test.
Right.
How are you driving the car and your top star's in the back seat? He gets shot 4 times and they shot like 8 bullets. How do you not see anything?
It's crazy that they didn't see him.
That's why I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So Shakur, I mean, Tupac survived several days, and then they had issues because Death Row had many members of their group stay at the hospital 24 hours a day because they thought that whoever did this was going to come back and finish him. And the hospital was pissed and did not want this because he was in the critical care unit until Friday, September 13th. So he was shot on September 8th. He died of basically respiratory failure that led to cardiac arrest because they had to remove his lung. They tried like hell to revive him with the paddles, and they even tried the manual heart massage, which is like the last thing people do, where the doctor actually goes in and manipulates the heart, try to get it pumping again. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope.
Yeah, it's a manual heart massage. It's like a really, really last resort, and it's rarely done. But like they didn't obviously want to lose him. So his mother made the decision to stop medical treatment. Because they were massaging his heart, trying to keep him alive, but still, even if they got it going again, he had lost so much oxygen. There was no, they didn't know if he would be anything. So when he got to the hospital, the police questioned him, and he refused to talk to the police. His last words were "fuck you."
Really?
Yes. And that's documented. So the investigation was a shit show. Sergeant Kevin Manning was the one who led the investigation. And for a year, nothing. He actually told the Las Vegas Sun that his murder it may never be solved. The case was slowed down like 3 days in because they had no clues, no leads, no forensics, DNA, nothing. And nobody was talking. Suge Knight wouldn't talk, the bodyguard wouldn't talk, and then the other death row members didn't talk. So basically, a lot of people did like investigations on their own. The Los Angeles Times published a 2-part story titled "Who Killed Tupac Shakur." They did a year-long investigation, and they reported the shooting was carried out by a Compton gang called the Southside Crips to avenge the fight that had happened at the hotel before the Tyson fight.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah. So they thought it was revenge for that when he got into the fight with Orlando Anderson.
Right.
So basically, the Vegas police actually knew of Anderson, considered him a suspect, but they only interviewed him once, and it wasn't recorded. And then 2 years later, Anderson was killed in a gang shooting.
Thing.
And that murder went unsolved. So this leads into Biggie, because at the time they were rivals. Before they were friends, like they were buddies. And
Tupac's originally from New York before he moved out to LA.
Correct. And
people always think that Tupac was just from the West Coast.
West Coast, he was not, absolutely. And from what there were a couple documentaries and people were interviewed, and allegedly Tupac called Biggie and told him that, listen, I'm doing this East Coast, West Coast thing to help us both make money. If we come off as we hate each other and rivals and talk shit, people are going to get riled up, and we're going to sell more records. So it was alleged that the whole thing was like pro wrestling, like they both were acting out. But shortly after Tupac's murder, people thought Biggie was involved. They thought that like he ordered it or something, or Diddy ordered it. So that's what kind of led up to it. But the craziest part about the Tupac's murder, there were a ton of witnesses. There was an entourage. There were 10 automobiles of death row that were they're in a line following Shakur and Suge Knight.
Right.
So that's why it's so controversial, because Suge Knight's in jail now.
Right.
Because I think he manslaughter. He had just gotten out of prison when this happened, I believe, too, or it was after. I can't remember. So, and this is what I didn't know. Wow. Okay. So in July 18th, 2023, the Las Vegas Police Department executed a search warrant in connection with Tupac's murder. And the search was conducted at a home in Henderson, Nevada. And it was stated that the search was, to investigate his death. It was later revealed that the home belonged to the wife of Dwayne Keefe D. Davis. Davis was subsequently arrested in connection with Tupac's murder September 29th, 2023. He was held without bail and charged with the murder. I did not know this.
Wow.
He pled not guilty. So they scheduled his trial to begin in June of 2024. But okay, so he actually because he was in jail so long. On January 9th, 2024, he was granted bail for $750,000 because now everyone gets bail.
Right.
And he was put on house arrest. They kept pushing the trial back. The trial got delayed again until November 4th of, oh my God, wow. The trial still hasn't happened. So the trial was scheduled for November 4th, 2024. They had a grand jury hearing. A South Side Compton Crips gang affiliate testified that it was DeAndre Smith who was the shooter, not Orlando Anderson. That is what primarily led to the search warrant and the arrest. When Davis passed the firearm to Orlando, Orlando didn't have a clear shot. Big Dre is 6'6". At this time, he's 370. He's 400 pounds. He's big.
Wow.
And you're not going to be able to lean over a big guy like that and get, I mean, my time knowing things, doing stuff. You're not going to reach over like that because the shells would have been popping all over Big Dre's face and all kind of stuff. He can't bend down or anything. He's too big. So that is why, wow, that is why this happened. So on February 18th, 2025, the trial was delayed again until February 9th, 2026. And that was because Davis switched attorneys. So then on April 9th, 2025, a jury convicted Davis for his role in an unrelated case involving battery by a prisoner. And one count.
Didn't Davis admit to being involved or orchestrating it?
He did, but not to law enforcement. He admitted to the gang, and I think the gang knew. Now there's also speculation in October 2024. Speculation was that P. Diddy was the one who ordered it. So that was what caused what happened to Biggie, because Death Row always assumed that either Biggie or Diddy ordered this murder. So I think that was 96. Yeah, it was 96. Tupac gets murdered. 1997. Christopher Wallace, Biggie Smalls, he was just coming out with his new record, which is to this day is the only rap.
Before you go into it, on the Suge Knight conspiracy,
Yeah,
part of it was they were saying that he was considering leaving Death Row and taking all his masters with him.
correct. And Suge Knight was also the one who hung someone off a roof.
Correct. Yeah.
Like he was Ice Cube or
Ice Baby or whatever his name was.
Vanilla Ice. Yes, you're right. But Suge Knight was a football player. Like he was
UNLV.
He was a badass.
Yeah,
and he's in prison currently. So again, Death Row is thinking that Biggie and Diddy did this.
Okay.
Many people have stated that Tupac and Biggie had talked several times, and this whole East Coast, West Coast feud was orchestrated by both of them. And they were both in on it. Diddy knew about it, and it was to basically get popularity with the people, have them take sides, and increase their record sales. And it was said that Biggie and Tupac loved each other. They were friends. So I don't know. That is always what kind of confused me, because I could see that happening. Like
The people
I remember
around
that
him
time.
may not have known. That's the other thing.
Right. But I remember that time. I remember how, like, even here in White New Hartford, like people were East Coast, West Coast. Like
Right. Of
like
course.
they took it so freaking
They
seriously.
took it serious. Other people they took it
They
serious.
bought in, man. Like it was people were fighting over it. I mean,
Yep.
there would be people fighting in high school.
Yep.
Someone's a Tupac fan, someone's a Biggie fan. They fight. So it just wow. But the other thing that caused problems was some of the lyrics, I believe, in Biggie's songs. He said certain things that were like inside to Tupac, kind of insulting him. I can't remember exactly what the song was, but that caused a problem.
Then Tupac also insulted him. Like
Yes, he did too. Yes, yeah. So
hit
they
him
were
up
going back and
or
forth.
was it on Hit 'em Up?
Yeah, yes, that's it. Yes, yes. It was hit him up. Yes. Yes. So he was promoting it was only his second album, The Life After Death. And to me, it's the only rap record that I loved. Like we listened to this religiously in high school. I loved it. I loved it. I love Biggie.
Biggie was
I
great.
hate rap.
Pac, did you like Pac?
No, I didn't like Pac.
I was a huge Biggie fan.
I thought
Huge.
Pac was a scumbag. I thought Biggie at least was a good person.
I don't know if any of them were, but Biggie, I like Biggie. I liked Pac. I liked Machiavelli. That was a great album.
Yes, and what's crazy is Tupac knew, like he always knew he was going to die young, like he would say it, and he had been shot before, so he produced so much extra music, so it would be able to be released after his death over time. I don't know if you remember, but you can't play it. You don't have the license for it.
What?
You don't have the license for it. They'll pull it off YouTube.
Oh.
But do you remember that? Like every 5 years, like a new Tupac album would come out, or a new single would come out. Because he had a premonition about his death. So he produced extra music. So Biggie, on March 7th, he went to present an award at the Soul Train Music Awards. He presented an award to Tony Braxton, and he got booed off the fucking stage.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I think it was out west. And according to journalist Justin Tinsley, he was scheduled to travel to London the next morning. Instead, on the evening of March 8th, he and the Bad Boy Records entourage attended an after party hosted by Vibe magazine at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Carthery Circle neighborhood, in LA. Other guests were Faith Evans, Queen Latifah, Aaliyah, Chris Tucker, the Wayans brothers, Genuine. So I mean, there's Russell Simmons. So there's big people there, and there were like 1,000 people in attendance. So after the party on March 9th, it was around 12:30. Biggie left with the entourage in two green 1997 Chevy Suburbans. Remember, those were like the popular car back then. Those are Escalades. So they were going to an after party. And prior to leaving, the Los Angeles Fire Department closed that party early because of smoking weed, loud music, and overcrowding. So Biggie traveled in the front passenger seat alongside associates D-Rock, the Junior Mafia, who was obviously bad boy, and the driver was Gregory G. Money Young. Now, this is why I'm suspect. Puffy, P. Diddy, traveled in another vehicle, and he had the Bad Boy Records director of security with him. And there was an off-duty Inglewood police officer who was also in the car with him. So why are you putting your star, who's in LA during an East Coast, West Coast rivalry, you put your star in a Chevy Suburban, you're the head of Bad Boy. This is your cash cow. Wouldn't you do everything to protect him? Wouldn't you put you got an off-duty police officer with you? Wouldn't you have him in the car or driving or something?
Yeah.
That's what I don't get.
Well,
So
the conspiracies are retaliation for Tupac, LAPD involvement on Biggie.
yeah, there was corruption, and they sued. Yes, well, we'll get into that. Yes,
Suge Knight ordered the hit.
yes.
And
There's
his involvement, and Biggie wasn't the target.
there's a lot of conspiracy theories about it. So by 12:45 a.m., the streets were crowded because they broke up the party. Biggie's SUV stopped again at a red light, and a dark-colored 1994 Chevy Impala drove to the side of Biggie's Suburban. The driver of the Impala was a black male wearing a light blue suit and a bow tie. I remember because I saw the documentary. Lowered his window, drew a 9mm pistol, fired 6 shots into the Suburban. And Biggie was hit with 4 bullets.
Wow.
Nobody else was hit. Nobody else was hit. And there's 1 million people in the car. So they rushed him to the hospital, Cedars-Sinai. The doctors performed an emergency thoracotomy, but he was pronounced dead at 1:15 a.m. So he was shot at 12:45. He was dead by 1:15. He was 24 fucking years old, man. 24. I just so he was only 24 years old.
Crazy.
So this is the other thing. They hid his autopsy for years
Why?
because of LAPD corruption.
Yeah.
So the autopsy report was not released to the public until December of 2012, 15 years after the death. And it reported 3 of the 4 shots were not fatal. The first bullet hit his arm and traveled to his wrist. The second hit him in the back, missing all vital organs, and it went through and through, which is perfect. And the third hit his left thigh and exited. But what happened, I guess the third bullet also struck the left side of his scrotum. The fourth bullet was the fatal one. It went to his right hip and it hit all his vital organs, his liver, his colon, his heart, and it was just a mess. So the investigation was a dumpster fire, basically. The cops were pissed because they knew about the Vegas police and how Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight and his crew stonewalled them. So the cops were not eager to get on this because they knew it was going to be such a fight to even get statements and witnesses and everything because nobody talks. And the East Coast, West Coast hip hop feud was awful. And the media was reporting that Biggie was connected to Shakur's murder. And the LA Times writers actually reported that. And they reported key a key suspect in his murder of the Southside Crips was acting out of personal financial motive rather than the gang's behalf. Now, the investigation stalled. No one was ever charged.
That's
Okay?
crazy.
So this is what happened. 2002, Russell Poole retired from the LAPD. And he was kind of the only one who took it seriously, cared, gave a shit. He wrote that the investigation was botched. He accused Suge Knight of Suge Knight was a known Bloods affiliate. He accused Suge Knight of conspiring with the corrupt LAPD officer David Mack to kill Biggie and make both deaths appear as a result of the rap rivalry. In the book, he stated that one of Mack's alleged associates, Amir Muhammad, I remember seeing him, was the hitman who killed Wallace. And if you see a picture of Amir Muhammad, you can see him in a bow tie.
It's crazy.
So Russell Poole got in a ton of shit for accusing the LAPD of corruption. So in 2002, I remember this, they made the documentary Biggie and Tupac, and it was based off his book. The New York Times hated it and described it as completely speculative and circumstantial, and it relied on flimsy evidence, and he wasn't objective. He didn't present any counter evidence or question sources, or the motive that he suggested in the documentary was to decrease suspicion for Shakur's shooting 6 months earlier, and there was no evidence to support it. So in 2005, the Rolling Stone published an article accusing the LAPD of not fully investigating leads concerning death row records based on Russell Poole's evidence. And they claimed P. Diddy failed to fully cooperate with the investigation. And according to Russell Poole, who's the retired cop who wrote the book, encouraged Bad Boy to do the same. So that is why I believe P. Diddy allegedly could have been involved. Because according to Russell Poole, the police officer that retired, his theory was formed on the basis Biggie's family dismissed a $500 million lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles.
Sorry, I was gone.
Oh, I was saying that
I heard it. Nature called.
So there was a ton of criminal speculation sprung up about the case with the documentaries, with the book, articles, gangs, crooked cops. I mean, it was just people wanted to sensationalize it more because they made money off of it, and they did a film, City of Lies. It was produced based on Russell Poole's investigation, and Johnny Depp played Russell Poole. So it was just ridiculous.
My question is,
why
was LAPD corrupt on the Biggie one?
Because they heard about because they heard about the Vegas investigation into Tupac's murder and how difficult death row was. Nobody cooperated. They couldn't get any statements. nobody saw anything. So they were like, fuck this. Like, we're not putting resources. We're not wasting time, trying to investigate this when no one's going to cooperate. So they did very little. Like, the case file was barely anything. The only guy who really, like I said, gave a shit and investigated was this Russell Poole. And then when he retired, he wrote a book detailing about the police corruption and how they didn't do shit. And he fully believes that the police conspired to be part of this. So
why?
Because one of the officers had a connection to Tupac, and they wanted to make it look like Tupac's murder or Biggie's murder was in retaliation to Tupac, to take suspicion away from the police and their affiliation with the gang. And I think their affiliation with the gang, they had a couple CIs that were Bloods that they were trying to protect. So that's why
the name to get out, right?
Yeah. So what happened was the paper ran a photo of Amir Muhammad. That's who Russell Poole thought did the shooting. Amir Muhammad was a mortgage broker. And when they questioned him, he did not he was unconnected to the murder. He appeared to match the details of the gunman, but nothing else. Like, he had an alibi. They couldn't find anything that connected him to the murder.
Wow.
And from everything else, all it looked like was he was a mortgage broker leading a normal life. So Muhammad, he actually comes in on his own because he sees his name in the paper as a suspect or a person of interest. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, I've never heard this before. So he actually came in himself and he answered all the questions. And he was very cordial, and he was furious. He says, I'm a mortgage broker, not a murderer. How can something so completely false end up on the front page of a major newspaper? I think he sued the LA Times.
We definitely won that lawsuit.
So a later story in 2005 by Chuck Phillips alleged that an informant for Russell Poole and his theory, Psycho Mike, who was a schizophrenic with admitted memory lapses, confessed to hearsay. And that kind of demolished Russell Poole's theory of the murder. But Russell Poole was the only one who kind of investigated, and there definitely was police. They botched the investigation or didn't investigate. There were so many books, there were movies, and it was just a disaster. So it was 2006. They reopened the case because the Biggie's family brought that lawsuit. So retired LAPD detective Greg Kading, he worked for 3 years on a gang task force that included Biggie's case, alleged that the rapper was shot by Poochie Foose, a mob Piru gang member, an associate of Suge Knight. And he died on July 24th, 2003, after being shot in the back while riding his motorcycle in Compton. So you have both murders, and the people that police think did it are both dead. And then again, like I said, they didn't really. Biggie's autopsy wasn't released until 2012. They released it to try to generate new leads, and the case is actually still open. And then, unfortunately, I didn't even know this. February 21st, Biggie's mother died.
Oh, wow. Recently?
Yeah, February 21st.
And they never solved it.
Yeah, and she was the only one. Like, she played a prominent role in the effort to get justice for her son.
Oh, man.
And she sued the city of Los Angeles for wrongful death claims, and about Mac having a role in Wallace's death. So the wrongful death claim against the city of L.A. was based on the evidence by that Russell Poole. The case was presented to the jury in 2005. So how about this? One of the key witnesses, who was expected to testify, revealed that he suffered memory lapses. This is the schizophrenic guy, from psychiatric medication. He had previously testified to knowledge of involvement between Knight, Mac, and Muhammad, but later said Biggie's attorneys had altered his declarations, basically his affidavit, to include words that he never said. But he took the full blame for the false declaration. So several days into the trial, Biggie's attorneys disclosed to the court, and the prosecution, or the opposing counsel, was a civil trial, sorry, that he received a telephone call from someone claiming to be an LAPD officer who provided detailed information about the existence of evidence concerning Biggie's murder. And then the court directed the city to conduct a thorough investigation, which uncovered previously undisclosed evidence, much of which was in the desk of Detective Stephen Katz, who was the lead detective on the murder case. The documents centered around interviews of numerous police officers and an informant who had been a cellmate imprisoned with Rampart officer Rafael Perez for an extended period of time. He reported Perez told him about his and Mac's involvement with Death Row Records and their activities as part of the murder. And as a result of the newly discovered evidence, the judge declared a mistrial, and they awarded Biggie's family their attorney fees. So they had to refile the wrongful death lawsuit in 2007, and it got dismissed. That's what it was. So it got dismissed. It got dismissed based on the statute of limitations. They said that according to California law, the family had to provide notice of its claim to the state within 6 months of Wallace's death. And they obviously appealed it, and they sided with it. It got dismissed. So that was it. And so my theory is, again, who benefited? Like Tupac's murder, nobody really benefited, right? Suge Knight was screwed. Like he ended up going to jail.
True.
Right?
Yes.
Death Row really kind of disintegrated.
That was the end of Death Row, really. The beginning of the end of it.
That's my point. So you look at Bad Boy. Biggie dies. What happens with Bad Boy? Now who's the star?
Well, you had said that your conspiracy theory on this was that
P. Diddy.
P. Diddy.
Because that's what I'm saying. Who became the star? Bad Boy went on to bigger and better things without Biggie. Because I always believed, because if you watch early on, Puff Daddy always tried to kind of get in the spotlight with Biggie. Whenever he was rapping, you know, he part of, yeah. He would always try to get in the music videos. And I know he was the producer, but he would rap too. He would always be part of it. And I always felt like he wanted that spotlight. So Biggie gets murdered 2 weeks later or a month later. What happens? Every breath you take, he comes out with the 2 or 3 tribute songs to Biggie. With his was it Faith Evans, his wife? I can't remember.
Yeah.
They profited off his murder. That's what bothers me the most. And that's why
that sold 3 million copies.
Exactly.
In the US alone.
Exactly. That's why I'm
11
saying
weeks at the top of Billboard Hot 100.
I remember, dude, when I was in high school, that's all we listened to. That is all we freaking listened to. So that's my point. Biggie gets shot. Who benefited? Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy rose to superstardom. He's in movies. He's the head of Bad Boy. He's making star after star after star. And then, you know, obviously his ego takes over and he is an abuser. But he becomes wealthy. He becomes
he
star.
was wealthy already. He becomes a mega
yeah,
star.
yeah, but not like he became. Like you just said, Biggie dies 2 weeks later. It's almost like he had that record. He had that song prepared. How do you release it so fast? How can you do that? Are you that good of a songwriter that, you know, like if Dave Schumann died, could I write a song honoring him in 2 weeks and then release it?
Well, here's what's interesting. So,
I think he had it prepared.
Well, listen, this is interesting. I'll Be Missing You, the song about Biggie, became a hit. However, the rapper only asked Sting's permission for the sample after the song was released. Diddy and Sting have both addressed the situation previously. 2018 interview with the Breakfast Club, Sting says he receives $2,000 a day from Diddy. That's how much money that song makes.
I know.
And then when a clip of the interview resurfaced on Twitter this week, and Diddy responded by saying, "Nope, more like 5,000 a day."
I'm sure he did.
So okay, so let's say. So first of all, he made the song, didn't ask for, because he knows Sting would have said no. So,
yes. And then remember he performed it with him at the MTV Music Awards that year.
Yes.
That was the only time I watched it.
Once it became a huge hit, obviously Sting was like, well, I'm going to make lots of money from this too.
Right. I want in.
But he knew it was going to be a hit. He knew.
Who do you think knew? Puffy or Sting?
Puffy.
Oh, right.
So he makes $1.8 million a year, if 5,000 a day is correct.
Jesus Christ!
From that song alone.
You're saying just Sting gets $1.8 million a year from it?
That's what the P Diddy says he makes five. Sting says he makes
So
2,000 a day. P Diddy says he makes 5,000.
P Diddy says he makes 5,000 or Sting makes 5,000?
Sting.
Oh,
Sting.
So then how much does P Diddy make a day off of it?
Yeah. What do you typically?
Oh my God! So that's my point. That's why.
What percentage do you pay? On?
Well, the royalty or to use a sample, you have to negotiate it. I mean,
Yeah, I know. I'm just curious. The rate is 12 cents for songs 5 minutes or under. That's cheap.
That's really cheap. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was standard. I thought you could charge whatever you want.
Over 5 minutes.
In pro wrestling,
Current rates are 12.4 cents per copy. So 12 cents per copy.
Wow.
Of song.
Holy.
And he probably asked for more. Sting.
Yeah. I would assume.
Let's say he asked for 20 cents or 25 cents a song.
Yeah. Okay.
So that means Diddy's making $5 to $6 million a year from that song and royalties.
Jesus, that's my point, Dave. That's my point.
Oh my God!
I believe
never had a song as popular as that either, ever.
The music industry right now, I think, is horrible. But
nobody's making any money like that.
But I believe P. Diddy always wanted that spotlight. I believe
Biggie, that too at the time.
Biggie was his cash cow. This was only his second album, and he knew it was going to be a hit. So murdering him, that increased the record sales. If Biggie were alive, the sales would have been good, and he probably would have toured and made money. But with his death, oh my God, it's his last album. We got to buy it. I think it increased sales. I think P. Diddy
gets 100% of the royalties from the song.
I know.
Okay, so he's not getting any money.
But he made a shit ton of money off of it.
So how much did he make? Okay. So how is that's almost no.
I fully believe he wrote the song before the murder.
So he gave him 100% of the royalties.
I thought 100% of the royalties went to the family. That's why it was released.
And then
I thought that the money went to his mother.
Every Breath You Take has made around $100 million in its lifetime.
Yes, I believe that. I believe that. That's my point. That is my exact point.
Kill my dog.
I think P. Diddy orchestrated the whole thing. I think he knew Biggie was going to blow. He knew Biggie was going to blow up, and then he wanted that spotlight, so he orchestrated the murder. Okay, good. So this is honestly what I think. Okay, Diddy wanted the spotlight. He knew Biggie was going to blow up, but he knew that in his murder, he was going to make more money. So he orchestrates the murder, knocks off Biggie. Every Breath You Take was written probably a month in advance. And because it came out, I'd love to see the date it came out, because I'm pretty sure it came out like 2 weeks after the murder. If it says the day, it was released in March of '97. I know.
Let me figure that out.
I'm pretty sure it was March of '97 when it was released. because that's my whole thing. Because the other song, what's that?
It was 2 months.
So okay, it was released in May.
I mean, that could be done. That's it. It's not like he created anything new,
right? But I'm telling you, I think he had it written before,
and he had lyrics written already.
Yeah, and I think that he was smart and waited an appropriate amount of time, 2 months, and then releases it. Great.
So you think he killed him?
Yes.
Then created this song.
No, I think the song was created before
for somebody who was going to be.
No, I think I swear to God, I think he planned to knock off Biggie. I think he wrote this song months before and had it ready. Orchestrates the murder, releases Every Breath You Take, and there's 3 other songs on there by 112 because he wanted to promote 112, and he got Faith Evans over too. And then, Hypnotize came out. That made a fortune. Life After Death was released March 25th, 1997. That was Biggie's last album. And Puff Daddy's on a lot of those songs. Diddy is. And then the following year, he released a new album.
Remember when she had Shine?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Shine sounded just like Biggie?
Yeah. 100%.
Well, I don't know why I keep freezing, by the way. I drive me nuts. I don't know what's going on.
What is?
I keep freezing.
Oh.
Something going on my computer.
But listen, but he comes out with remember that album? He had Mace. He had that song that had the Rocky music in it. The sun don't shine together, but as long as we're here, and he had that.
It was hit after hit.
That dude on there.
It was hit after hit.
Where my bitches is at? Where the fuck my bitches at? Where my bitches is at? We got the real life shit from front to back to my. Yeah, you remember? I can't remember what his name was. That guy was in it, but all I'm saying, P. Diddy benefited tremendously.
Let me see here. Let me see all P. Diddy's hits after Biggie. I'll Be Missing You, Mo Money, Mo Problems.
That's the one. That was the next album. Yes,
with Biggie. Born Again.
Yep.
No Way Out. Yep.
But more importantly, Bad Boy became unstoppable.
Bad Boy. Yeah, Bad Boy.
Bad Boy produced star after star after star.
The one thing I always noticed was like the song hit him up when Pop
yes.
That, right? He went right at Biggie.
Yes. But again, I've heard it several times that they both were
Can't
in
nobody
on this.
hold me down.
Yep.
Remember that one?
Yeah. But I'm telling you, they both were in on this. Several people have said that they
created. Yeah.
Mace never ended up being much other than that one album. But
no, I wonder if Mace had anything to say about it.
Nobody did. But it's been said by so many people that Biggie and Pac orchestrated the entire feud. It was to make more money. And they created it, and it wasn't like real. They didn't hate each other. They were friends. They loved each other. They orchestrated it to make money. And what happened was people took it for real, like seriously. And that's why there was violence. I mean, at our white New Hartford school, there were cliques. What East Coast at freaking New Hartford. So that's why Tupac
was the Life After Death album after Biggie was killed.
Yes,
and that was a hit. That was Biggie.
Oh yes. Life that's what they were promoting before Biggie was killed. Biggie was killed on March 8th. Life After Death was released March 25th.
And then he produced Puff Daddy and the Family.
Yes.
Which was a bunch of songs that Biggie was on too.
Yes. Yes. He used
Victory, Been in the World.
Victory's the one I loved. Yeah, Been Around the World. Yep. That's the one. That's the one that had Mace on it too.
It's All About the Benjamins.
Yep. So that's why I'll saying,
be missing you. Can't nobody hold me down. Yes. All right. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, Dave.
A lot of hits.
How do you not suspect P. Diddy? He would never have blown up like this if Biggie were alive. Biggie was bigger than him. Biggie could have left him. Bad Boy would have fallen apart. And I know they were buddies, but nothing lasts forever, right?
I agree with that. Nothing does last forever. I do think in business, especially in the record industry, where it's so
people leave all the time.
Yep, they don't like it when you leave.
Yeah,
people get mad because that's money walks out the door,
and they don't want anyone to get bigger than the company. And Biggie was bigger than Bad Boy.
Ooh, then 98, the Locks, Money, Power, Respect.
Yeah, absolutely. He was on fire after that. He became a star. He performed the first song at the 1997 MTV Music Awards. He came out with Sting and did Every Breath You Take. They did a duet. And he's fucking in the white suit dancing and shit. And that music video.
Then in 99, he came out with another Biggie album, Born Again.
He had his whole catalog.
He had he had everything he had done.
Exactly. That's my point. He didn't need him. And he made more money with him dead than he would have alive.
And so Biggie was churning out songs.
Right. And now
he had his catalog.
Right.
And now he was basically, all he had to do was produce the music with his lyrics.
Correct.
And then that's why he always has all these guests on it to make it a more produced song.
Correct.
And then in 2000, 2000, Shine came out.
Yep. He was on fire.
He had Black Rob. And then 2001, he had Dream. Remember the Girls?
I sure do.
That was a great song. They had one song, but that song must have sold 1 million.
But he also had Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim was awesome.
Lil' Kim. He had J-Lo. He did a lot of J-Lo stuff.
Yeah.
Then P. Diddy and the Bad Boy Family.
Yep.
Another album.
But that's my point. He was still able to release Biggie's music because he had his catalog, and then he can release his own. So he's double dipping. He's making money off of dead Biggie's music, and then he in turn steps in this. He always wanted that spotlight.
And Mary J. Blige, he did all her shit.
Yeah, he always wanted that spotlight. So he jumps in and takes the spotlight. Now he's the face of Bad Boy and the rapper in the spotlight. And Biggie's out of the way. Tupac's out of the way. Who's left? DMX came along. So that is why I fully believe, and I know P. Diddy had a movie made about Biggie, which I saw in the theater. I fully believe that he allegedly had something to do with it, or orchestrated it. Are you with me on that or no?
I'm not sure, but I think it's possibly plausible.
It's plausible. Listen. There's no evidence. It's pure speculation. But
I don't think he did it. I think
no, he didn't do it. I think he ordered it.
Yeah.
I think he paid someone to do it. Because I always look at it. I'm a true crime guy. I always look at it if there's a murder, who benefits most from it?
I do too.
Who is going to benefit most? Puff Daddy benefited 10 times over, 100 times over from Biggie and Tupac being knocked off. I could have orchestrated Biggie's. He could have orchestrated Tupac's too. But Tupac's,
I think that's what what's the name believes.
Tupac's, I'm more suspicious about because how do you not shoot Suge Knight? That's what's most suspicious to me. You know, Suge Knight was the asshole. I mean, he was the one in prison. He was the one who had enemies. You shoot Tupac, and I know Tupac wasn't the best person, but you fire 4 shots to Tupac, and you don't shoot Suge. You just drive away. Well, that doesn't pass the smell test.
No, I have to go pick up my son from school.
Okay. All right. So
great pod though.
It was. I wish I could keep going. So just remember,
without me.
No. I
think we beat the dead horse, but I think in conclusion, I think
yes.
There's
I'm not totally wrong.
Some level of I believe there's some level of conspiracy.
Correct.
I don't know where it all goes. I agree with you that certain people benefited from all of this happening, but it's not always the case. Sometimes it brings somebody into the spotlight that might not have been, didn't it indirectly benefited, meaning could
Puffy
have been an opportunist, which he definitely was.
But I think he always wanted that spotlight. He always was sticking his nose in.
He felt that killing him would have gotten him that spotlight.
He just watch. He always was sticking his nose in. His videos, his songs, he had to always be part of it. He wanted that freaking spotlight. And he knocked him off.
The assistant coach trying to be head coach and knocking off the head coach by undermining him.
Absolutely.
Right? That happens all the time.
Absolutely.
Football, it happens all the time. People are always like
they go behind their backs.
100%. Football, I can only imagine what it's like in Division 1.
100%. There's backstabbing.
Right. And there's more money for football coaches at the highest level. There's a lot of stake for them to be millionaires. This was 2 people that were already millionaires had the opportunity to become potentially billionaires.
Well, I don't think they were yet. Biggie,
they were making money.
Yeah, but this second album was what put Biggie on the map. The first album was good, but that second album was a hit.
Yeah, so that's a great point. So this is essentially
he killed him before the second album.
Knocking off undermining the head coach and getting the head coaching job.
By default.
Which happens sometimes.
Well, I mean, it'd be like the head coach getting fired and the athletic director taking over.
It's happened to me in business. I'll give you a great story. Quick story.
Boy.
Oh, yeah, it's happened to me many times. But I can give you just one of the stories. I had 3 training facilities at one point.
Yes, you told me that.
One of the training facilities, I had a guy that I put in charge of it. Within 6 months of having him in charge of it, he turned around, went to the management and of the facility and said, "I'll make it my own company and split the money with you guys instead of paying rent." And
what?
Me out, yeah. They agreed not
the building.
They didn't. They agreed to not renew my lease.
Oh my God!
He took it over. He still has a training facility from this day, from the benefit of of
couldn't you have sued him?
And he undermined me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have sued him. Could you have
Well,
sued him
well,
civilly?
it would have been difficult because the owners said that they decided to not lease with my company and then lease with him individually.
Right.
So, but yeah, I could have. It would have been.
It probably wouldn't have got. You probably wouldn't have
been
got
worth
anything.
The money you would have got out of it. But
okay, so that's a good example.
That's a good example. He essentially took me out.
But that's exactly why I think P. Diddy did.
And this is much higher stakes, dude. A lot higher stakes.
Yeah, he wanted that spotlight. He had the catalog.
This guy. Here's what's funny: the guy who did that to me was that kind of a guy. By the way, he was a star trainer for me. Me and him were very close, and I liked him a ton.
That's the problem. You trusted him.
Yep. I liked him a ton. He was very good at what he did. He had a great personality.
Right.
And
that's a problem. I hate to say it, but you really can't trust anyone in this world.
By the way,
because anyone can backstab. I
saw him years later, I saw him. I was at a bar.
Oh my God, you did?
Yeah. And he came over to me. He came over to me. I said, I can't fuck with you. And
was he trying to be buddy with you?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Like nothing happened?
Like nothing happened.
Oh my God.
I almost got a
fight. You would have punched him. Yeah. Oh my God.
I was like, I really, and he had a couple of his gym cronies there. I said, I'll fuck all you guys up.
I know you would. But
he knows that's true because he played basketball Division III and Division III basketball player, and I used to play him 1-on-1. And guess who won?
You did.
You're damn right. And guess how much organized basketball I played?
Zero.
Zero.
But
because I'm a sick basketball player, but I played sick relative to Division III. Not like I couldn't play at UConn. I'm not that.
No. But again, I
would have been a good high school basketball player. But
P. Diddy he wanted the spotlight. He knocked him off. He had the catalog.
That's the thing that I do believe that I feel like that happens every day in business all the time.
Yes, it does. Dave,
if you're right, this was no different than a business transaction to him.
Nope.
It's just a business transaction, right?
Yep. It's just business.
It's just business, right? And another person. And what makes me think about it even more when you see all the allegations that Cassidy had on him, and obviously
temper and the things that he did,
the things he did, and the manipulation schemes that he did, and the level of
and all the NDAs he's had people sign.
Yep, like he was ahead of the game on everything, and manipulated all
master manipulator.
Master manipulator, the master. Like in the levels of narcissism, he's above narcissism. He is actually sociopath.
I thought he was a sociopath. I really did.
Well, you see it now. Like he's sociopath in the sense that he was.
Well, you think he doesn't care and he thinks he can do anything.
He can do anything, and he keeps his hands out of it, meaning he doesn't have his gloves on it. His own gloves aren't on it.
Right.
Except everybody else is doing the work. Everybody else is doing it all for him.
You're right. He was having other people fuck girls in front of him. That's what he liked. He didn't actually do it. He had other people do
it. Just like remember the remember the show he had on MTV where he made the guy go cross?
Yeah. The Making the Band, where he was a dick and he'd send someone to get a donut. Hurry up. Go get me a donut.
Like, you can't tell me that when somebody's that's
you know
ego. What I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, that is pure narcissism.
like at the highest level of it, like as bad on the spectrum where it's the worst it possibly could be. He's at the and someone, a regular narcissist just does what they want to do and doesn't think about maybe people's feelings.
Yeah, they don't have empathy, sympathy.
They don't have empathy. He's at the far other end where he's literally manipulating the situation in every capacity.
And he sees all the angles.
Sees it all, plotting and planning.
Scheming, yes.
Almost that he knows himself so well that he's such a narcissist, such a dirtbag, that he is going to leverage the fact that he has those skill sets.
Dude, he was pissed he didn't get bail when he first got charged. He's like, how am I? I'm P. Diddy. How are you not giving me bail? And they're like, dude, this is a federal RICO case. You're not getting bail. And then he beats all the charges except one, and he thinks he's going to get bail before sentencing. Nope, you're actually convicted now. You're not getting bail, and his sentence is only going to be a few months, and he's going to get time served. Right. Credit for that. So it's just unbelievable. He gets away with it. He got away with it. And I can't remember if they showed the video or not, or they said the video was too prejudicial. But anyway, I think that, again, he wanted the spotlight. He did it, orchestrated it. He had the catalog so he could release Biggie's music. He stepped in, became the star, released his own music, double dipped, made a fortune, built an empire, and tormented women.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go.
Are you practicing today?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Is it going to be on Huddle?
No.
All right. Well, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them back at P. Diddy.